Rolls-Royce had to do to cut back to make sure that you're going to meet President Obama's new CAFE requirements?
Well, first of all, we are very fortunate in the sense that we're part of a large group, and there's research and development technology that the BMW Group is engaged in, where they're really leaders in CO2 emissions. I mean, this was the first company to introduce automatic stop-start on vehicles in Europe. This is the company with some of the very best diesel technology in the world. This is the company with the longest investment in hydrogen technology in the internal combustion engine. And all that is available to us as a brand, as the Rolls-Royce brand. And the car that we will be showing today is substantially more CO2 efficient than any of its competitive set. The Phantom, which we already supply, is 20% more CO2 efficient than its nearest direct competitor.
In fact, you have a thermal electric generator on this one.
We do on that car, which will not come to market for some time, but it's a good example of the sort of experimental work that we're doing. And it's interesting, it's not done by a major change. These things are done incrementally, with everything contributing. So, wheel bearings that have got less friction in them, rolling resistance on the tires that's less. All of these things help towards an improved fuel consumption and CO2 emission standard. I would be wrong to suggest that a Rolls-Royce of the very size and presence and competence of that car was fantastically green in the context of the way the world understands it. But we are fantastically green in comparison to anything else of that type. And that's a position we have to maintain. And we want to be absolutely at the front of doing things more efficiently. And within the context of our group, we should actually be able to benefit from their overall CAFE initiatives. So it's a long way of saying it's tough, it's going to be hard, but we're committed to it, and we're going to be here for the long run. We've been here since 1904, so I have no doubt that we're going to be here a great deal further.
Will Rolls-Royce have any alternative energies coming out?
I've been asked on a number of occasions, would we have an electric car, would we have a diesel car? And the answer to that is, it's all possible. We're not hidebound at Rolls-Royce by any one particular form of technology. Our Rolls-Royce owner is less interested in what is under the bonnet than how the car behaves. And therefore, if we can adopt any of these new technologies in a way that's appropriate to Rolls-Royce, and it makes sense to do so, both in terms of meeting legislation and the economics of so doing, then we will do so. I have been asked, will we have an electric car? And I have said I can imagine that there are many aspects of an electric car that would actually suit Rolls-Royce. Over time, and again, diesel, for example, a diesel in a Rolls-Royce is not unthinkable. We could make the engine smooth enough and quiet enough. It has fabulous torque characteristics, which are very much part of what a Rolls-Royce is all about. And of course, you get the added range and CO2 efficiency with it. But then when we look at the reality, we sell cars in the Middle East, we sell cars in China, we sell cars in the United States. None of these markets is a diesel market by nature. Therefore, gasoline is currently the appropriate way to go. But I can see in the future all these forms, whether it's hybrid technology, electric technology, hydrogen technology, playing a part in what we do. It's an interesting time for the industry, because nobody can be sure of what the way forward is. The one thing everybody's sure of is it isn't the way we've been operating in the past.
Would it be the percentage of cars that you still have on the road that have been made?
That's a really good question. We were talking about that the other day. It's certainly over 90%. I don't want to say it's 94 and it's not, but certainly over 90% of the vehicles. And that's an interesting aspect as well for Rolls-Royce. The issue of the environment is much broader than simply emissions. The issue that's facing all of us in society is sustainability. And if you think about it, manufacturing a small number of very, very exclusive, very wonderful things that become effectively collector's pieces that have a life which goes beyond the life of we as individuals has to be one of the ways forward. And you see people purchasing expensive furniture now and keeping it for a long period of time. antiques, for example. The sustainability of the environment in which we live is benefits from products that are long-lasting. And that's one of the things that we've got. Now, we didn't set out to do that. I mean, that's the way it's happened. But it's certainly one of the things that I see as a fundamental part of the future, particularly for a brand like Rolls-Royce.
Tom Purves, thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed.